Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
I know you were
Your favorite day, Friday.
That's true. Always. You always remind me. I just got happier this morning. How are you this morning? TGIF, my favorite day of the week. What are you up to today?
Hopefully going out this evening.
Fantastic.
Yes. So starting off the weekend on a very high note.
I love that. Yes. I love that, Ayo. Well, don't have too much fun. Monday is just around the corner. Well, all right. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending. With reactions trailing the meeting held by President Bola Tinubu on Thursday with governors from all 36 states of the Federation at the State House in Abuja to find ways to tackle insecurity and the economic hardship in the country. Over 25 governors and deputy governors, along with the Inspector General of Police, Ministers of Agriculture, Information, and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike were in attendance. Well, during the meeting, Rivers State Governor Fubara was asked by Vice President Kashim Shettima to acknowledge his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, generating reactions on social media. Well, let's take a look. That was a very, very viral video. I can see your head down. Well, all right, let me take some tweets. This person wrote, this person's Emma, he wrote, I can't believe that a whole sitting governor in the person of Fubara will be ordered in this manner. It is well. Look at the way Wike gave him a very cold treatment. Well, Seto Fumi wrote, there's something about the presidential villa. You don't dare disobey order. Even the most trivial directive, Vice President Shettima told Fubara to go greet Emperor Wike. He complied immediately. Emperor Wike, too, couldn't snub him. Meanwhile, yesterday in Yenagoa, Governor Obaseki refused to shake hands with his deputy, Shuaibu. So you can say Fubara is a very nice guy because he actually obeyed. He obeyed. He's obedient and he obeys the rules and the regulations. He went straight to do what Vice President Kashim Shettima told him what to do. But you said that Governor Obaseki
was
snubbing Shaibu was yeah.
At least
what was that?
Even though there was a delayed reaction. Yeah. From Minister Wike when he had to look up to see who was saying hello to him, but he still responded. Yes. I think almost with a smile. But Godwin Obaseki was like, in fact, it was like, hey, they will soon trend with that. Like, yeah. No way, not happening. But I think it speaks to the fact that these were people that were chummy in the past. They called themselves my brother, my friend, my father, and all that. And it just goes to show that all is not well in, between the no love lost between Governor Obaseki and his deputy, Philip Shuaibu, who is also hoping to get the ticket of the PDP in Edo State to run for governor. But beyond that, he said something, Oji, that it looks like Governor Fubara, now the one the one having in Abuja, is obedient. Yeah. And he listens to people. He listens to people. That is a problem. It has identified as, in fact, they say that he's too obedient. He listens too much, and that sometimes he should get a bit of a backbone. Yeah. That's been the conversation as to, it looks like he's trying to make peace with his godfather, with the man whom he credited during his inauguration speech. That was, I have to give honor to whom it is due. Yes. I give it to Wike. But it looks like Minister Wike is not having it.
No, he's not.
At least it was civil. So we applaud that. But beyond that, the conversation they were talked about earlier, the importance of the governors meeting with the president and these key stakeholders to address two big issues, security and food security. That's good to see. And I hope they'll put away their differences to work for the people. They can fight in the private. Yeah. They can have disagreements in the private. But absolutely.
I wouldn't expect Fubara to do, actually. Was he going to not just disobey the vice president? He could. He could, though, but he could. People were saying, he's the governor. Wike should be the one going to
let me ask you a question. If Governor Wike, former Governor Wike were in this position, do you think anyone could have ordered him to go and say hello to somebody?
Well, I'm not in Wike's mind. You can't put me on the spot. But they call him emperor for a reason. Go ahead.
Well, I think people react to situations differently. Let's start with the meeting at the villa. The VP asking Fubara to go and greet your girl. Because he pointed, he wasn't making any mistake. He pointed in the direction of go and greet your girl, go and greet your principal. And he obeyed. Now, as for the people saying they've turned Sim Fubara into a boy among men, I don't think so. It's just simple courtesy. I think we should even commend the vice president. After all, we are told in the Bible, Matthew 5, verse 9. You are looking at me, pastor's wife.
Pastor Matthew.
No, the Bible, answers all things. It says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. So that was the vice president trying to make peace. Say, please greet your guy. Don't make the mistake of walking, and ignoring him. So I think it's fine. It's okay. Whatever Nyesom Wike thinks or not, it was good optics for his successor to say hello to him. After all, they are from the same place. As for Governor Obaseki and Philip Shuaibu, the same Philip Shuaibu that has been on this program, I think not once, not twice, saying that he helped Obaseki. He used his resources to make him governor. And that Obaseki is an ingrate. If you have a deputy who has abused you like that on international television, and the relationship between you has collapsed, and then that same deputy sees you in public, he wants to greet you. So you greet him. Well, it depends on the kind of person you are. Right. Some other people, their temperament will not allow that and say, look, no, we are not on the same page. You and I, we are not friends. Don't let us pretend in public. There are some people like that. If they are angry with you, they are angry with you. They are not going to laugh with you. And yet there are some other people, they will laugh with you, they will shake your hand, but they have a dagger in their pocket. If they have a chance, they will put that dagger straight into your heart. So two different personalities here. So it may be that in Nyesom Wike's case, greeting Fubara may not mean much. Deep within him, he may say, look at this stupid boy. But Governor Obaseki is a different kind of person. Don't come here and pretend that we are friends. We are not friends. Let us prove it to ourselves on the field of play when PDP conducts its primaries. And then we will know who is the Oga and who is the... Is it boy? Is it fair to use the word boy?
No, who is the godson? Godson.
But I mean, the meeting was a good meeting at the end of the day. I mean, the issue of state policing is back on the table. And, the fact that the federal government has directed, state governors to stop food hoarding. It's great to, see these types of meetings. And hopefully something comes out of it. And it's not just audio. No, I mean, because all we've been hearing is all these audio promises. But speaking about economic hardship, yesterday we showed a video of a group of people being flogged while queuing up for 100 naira bread in Lagos Island. Well, another video has emerged showing a crowd of Lagosians looting a truckload of yam meant for palliatives at the Central Mosque in Lagos. The incident is said to have occurred last week. This video was alarming. It happened last week. It started trending, I believe, yesterday after that video that we showed with, Lagosians being flogged for 100 naira bread. Like I said, I did reach out to the Lagos State government, and this is what they sent to me, that the religious leader in Lagos Island had bought yams to distribute to the people in some parts of Lagos Island to support people in this economic situation. He didn't plan properly on the distribution method. As the yams landed and people got hint that it will be shared for free, they rushed there to start doing it themselves. I mean, this was what happened. This was the incident. And, we see these things happen. I mean, you cannot not say that there's economic hardship. This is Lagos. You saw the video. People were rushing for like 2 tubers, 3 tubers. They were just, you know, out there. But I mean, the situation is really getting out of hand, out of control. And we implore the people that are, you know, trying to help out in this economic situation to try to, you know, follow due process. Find ways to get the poorest of the poor and distribute these things properly. Well, all right. Well, in Ogun State, members of the National Union of Foods, Beverages and Tobacco Employees in Ota local government area of the state took to the streets on Tuesday to protest the ban placed on the manufacture, distribution and sale of alcoholic beverages in sachet and PET bottles by the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control. The protesters were seen carrying placards with inscriptions like, "Alcohol isn't the problem of Nigeria. We are hungry." All right, Dr. Abati, this happened in your state. I mean, I believe earlier this week I had someone from NAFDAC talk about this ban. I think this ban is coming in, you know, at a very wrong time. But the issue is the fact that this ban was already in place. There was already, you know, information out there that these sachet alcoholic drinks should be stopped because it endangers, you know, even young children. Dr. Abati.
Okay, let me start with the distribution of food. I think you put your finger on it correctly, that the issue is about planning the distribution. We commend the religious leader who thought it fit to provide food for people in this midst of scarcity. But I recall Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin was the one who propounded the theory of survival of the fittest,
yes,
the theory of natural selection. And he said in cases where you have issues with food, with health crisis and all that, only the strongest will survive. And this would seem to be a literal, you know, application of that theory, where, you know, food is available, you see how they are struggling. You know, only the very fit and the strongest will have access to those tubers of yam. But why the planning of the distribution is important is that, look, some people could be injured.
Absolutely.
Some people could collapse. In fact, the thing could degenerate into a riot. In fact, the next time food is being distributed in this manner, people can kill each other.
Absolutely.
That is what happens when you have a chaotic situation, where life is beginning to border on the nasty, the short, and the brutish. So planning the distribution is important. Whoever wants to donate food should please plan. And maybe they can liaise with state authorities also to assist in helping with distribution. The only problem with that is that the philanthropists will be afraid that the food that is being made available may end up in the houses of the civil servants who themselves are hungry. But if planning is fine, you know, there's nothing bad in giving to the other people. Secondly, the people protesting. It's not only in Ogun State that people have been protesting. They protested also in Lagos over the ban of PET, you know, items and sachet drinks. So it's not an Ogun State problem.
Okay, we hear you.
And this is the background. NAFDAC,
yes,
as far back as 2018, had consulted, had met with these same distillers and alcoholic beverage retailers and manufacturers. Okay, and it was agreed that, you know, because of alcoholic consumption, which WHO says is responsible for about 200 ailments, that this should be phased out. And they said by 2022, the manufacturers of these sachet alcohol drinks should reduce by 5%, but the enforcement of the final stage of it will be in January 2024. And NAFDAC, under Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, who has now been reappointed by President Tinubu, in recognition of her commitment, hard work, and the leadership that she has provided in that agency, now said, okay, they will start implementing. It's the implementation of what was agreed upon that has caused the problem. Even Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is protesting. Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, the DG, Shaibu Kadiri, was on the same program, right?
Yes.
He was on the morning show, saying that, look, about 5.5 million people will be kept out of work, and about 55,000, businesses will be affected. And that instead of stopping alcoholic beverages from being produced, that what government can do is to put warning, caution. The Surgeon General has said alcoholic drink will be dangerous to your health. The same thing that is done with what is it called? With tobacco. And some other people have other measures and say, okay, why don't you enforce age limits, that if you are below 18, you cannot take alcohol. And also for Transport Owners Association, to make sure that those drivers at the motor parks that have bloodshot eyes, as early as 7 a.m., every day, are controlled and conscientized, not to overconsume alcohol, and for them to be educated about the implications for their health. So the argument is out there. It's not an Ogun State problem. It's a national issue.
It is a national issue, but this is the video this is the video that is trending, Dr. Abati. And it happened in your state. My director corrected and said it's not Otta, it's Otta. Is it Otta? Yeah. It happened in Otta. Okay. So, but I did see some of those videos that, you talked about, and it is a big problem. I mean, I did see some videos in Lagos. The argument is out there. I have young children, and I understand where they are coming from, because these things are in sachet, and they are accessible. I mean, enforcement of age limit, I don't know how that would help in any ways whatsoever, because, at the end of the day, they can always get their gatesmen or whatever. The fact is they are, little-sized items that they can put in their school bags or whatever and go to school, and they are consuming it. Yeah. It's the truth.
And even the concentration or the percentage of alcohol was raised, that in those small sachets, 200 milliliters, 30%. Whilst in a bottle, you can get about 5%. So it's not just the content, it's the fact that it's concentrated as well, or the percentage of alcohol is quite high. And they identify the fact that we have an underage drinking problem. Yes. One that perhaps we don't understand the scope of this or how bad the situation is. And according to WHO, underage drinking leads to other things. There's more propensity to do hard drugs, to fail in school. So there's a ripple effect. There's also an impact on crime levels as well in terms of alcohol induced. But let me say something, which is also the argument for MAN and the BDN, is the fact that the response of the Nigerian regulatory bodies is ban, stop. We're just talking about the nurses yesterday. So when you're unable to use the tools available for you to regulate, you then outrightly ban. Now, the effect of banning is that it affects both the intended and then their secondary effects as well. So those the underage drinking, and to be honest, like you mentioned, if we don't get regulation right, it will not stop it. If we are not able to enforce the fact that a young person cannot go into a store to buy alcohol, or the fact that a young person doesn't have access to this, it's just going to be stopping businesses without actually, and that is the argument that your solution is not going to cut it, because in other areas we still have people who have access to drugs and the like. So what I would suggest perhaps is this: NAFDAC temporary ban in order to contain the situation, but do that side by side by having an effective mechanism for checking sellers who sell to underage children. And like Dr. Abati had mentioned, the road NURT should check their members and run a sensitization drive, massive drive, to ensure that they understand the effect and actually clamp down very heavily on this. After a period when there's a marked improvement, then with regulation, you can introduce it, and then people understand that it's their own responsibility to doing this. In the UK, in other parts of the world, they frown and it's illegal to sell to underage people. And there are many measures. You must have ID cards. Even if you look young, you're not allowed to. And then both the seller, the business owner, would be sanctioned for selling. So those are the kind of things that we should look at.
I still asked about my ID card.
Oh, really?
Of course.
That's a compliment.
Is it? Well, all right. Regulations should be in place. Well, we'll take another story. In the midst of the allegations of corruption against the Labour Party National Chairman, Julius Abure, the presidential candidate of the party, Peter Obi, on Thursday, called for an audit of the accounts of the party. This was as Abure on Thursday, right here on the morning show, challenged the suspended national treasurer of the party, Okpe, to provide concrete evidence to back her 3.5 billion naira fraud allegation against him. Speaking to journalist Peter Obi, who was accompanied by Aisha Yusufu, a member of his 2023 campaign team, said he's not involved in the accounting of the party's finances and that an auditor has been contracted to examine the party's finances.
All the funds received directly or indirectly from Bayelsa is not up to it's about not up to 1% of what is mentioned. People are claiming we received about $150 million. And I state here, we haven't seen 1%. And I stand for anybody to dispute or prove that. What we need to do in the party, and I discuss it with the leadership, is that we must now appoint a reputable audit firm to audit and be able to deal with the accounting of the party. So there's the allegation and counter-allegation now that must be thoroughly investigated and verified. And we'll reconcile it and know exactly what we're doing.
All right, Dr. Abatia Ayo, you interviewed, both Oluchi and Abure with this whole fraud allegation. But I think this is great. I mean, it shows that there is some sort of, transparency within the Labour Party. This audit that has been called, it's been going back and forth on social media. People are accusing, actually even saying, yes, they stole the money. They did not steal the money. This social media type of trial has been going on. But this audit has come up, and, I hope that it clears the way. I'd like for your take on both Abure and Oluchi's take on this story.
Okay, we had Julius Abure on the program yesterday, where he had the benefit of a right of reply. And he was saying that, in fact, the party had not seen any amount to the tune of 3.5 billion. He gave an account of a certain 1.3 billion and then maybe 700 million, totaling about just 2 billion. And he also said that, the party's accounts have been audited and all of that. However, it is good that Mr. Peter Obi has also intervened to call for audited accounts and to say the party accounts, even if they had been audited before, they will be audited afresh, and that he's not involved in party finances. Nobody mentioned his name in connection with it. And yesterday we had expressed a concern that this was a political party that, was galvanized by, the magnetism of Mr. Peter Obi's leadership, and how he became an icon, for the search for an alternative option within the political space in Nigeria, backed by the enthusiasm of young people across Nigeria, who saw in Labour Party, a possible alternative. And that is disappointing. And Abure himself agreed that the same Labour Party now has been reduced to Abure versus Akpapa, Abure versus Oluchi, and this is not the kind of thing, that people expected following the strong showing of that party in the last election. Final point is that it's a matter of law for political parties to submit audited accounts to INEC.
Yeah.
But the problem we have had in this country is that over the years, political parties don't submit their audited accounts as required by law. And so that's the problem we have to solve. And this is what now creates this kind of room, because INEC is supposed to have an oversight. INEC will announce, submit your audited accounts by so time. Nobody will listen. Perhaps because these political parties, after all, they are Nigerian political parties. And when even the Nigerian government's audited accounts, are not done on a regular basis, and the office of the Auditor General of the Federation is something else.
It's a shame.
So
Complete shame.
this is a Nigerian story.
There'll be more to this story, Ayo. You know that. Well, all right. Let's end what's trending today. In the United Kingdom, where Afrobeat star Divine Ikubo, who goes by the stage name Rema, has been confirmed to perform at this year's Brit Awards, the highest profile music awards ceremony in the country. The organizers of the awards ceremony made the announcement via social media on Thursday with a caption, "Stay calm, Rema will be performing at the Brits 2024. Rema will become the second Nigerian artist to perform at the Brit Awards following Burna Boy's performance in 2018. Nigerian artists nominated for this year's awards ceremony scheduled to hold in London on March 2nd include Burna Boy and Ashake. Both were nominated in the International Artist of the Year category, while Rema's Calm Down was nominated in the International Song of the Year category.
Baby, calm down, calm down. Yo, this your body, it puts in my heart for lockdown, oh lockdown. Yo, you sweet life, phantom, phantom. If I tell you, say I love you, no day for me, young girl, oh young girl. No, tell me, no, oh, oh, oh.
Oh, right. I mean, I love Rema. I hope he gets the award this year. You know that there was this conversation when the Grammys came out. They're like, Rema was cheated. Yeah. Now he's out there in Britain. I hope he gets that International Award of the Year category. Well, I'd love to thank you all. I hope you guys calm down this weekend. You know, it was just Valentine's Day. Just calm down. Calm down. Okay, Dr. Fati. Well, all right. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all next week.